Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are digging into James Clear's mega bestseller, Atomic Habits. We're going to explore this really powerful idea that the smallest, tiniest changes, the ones you might not even notice day to day, can actually lead to the most incredible, life-changing results.
So to really get this, let's start with the story. It's the story of how these powerful ideas were born from a single, terrifying moment. For James Clear, the author, this quote, well, it marks the edge of a cliff. It's the very last thing he remembers before his entire world changed.
He was in his sophomore year of high school, just playing a baseball game, when a stray bat came flying and struck him square in the face. The impact was just devastating. We're talking a fractured skull, a dangerously swollen brain, multiple seizures. He had to be rushed to the hospital and put into a medically induced coma. His life was literally hanging by a thread.
The road back was just brutally slow. I mean, a full year after the accident, he gets back to his beloved baseball only to be cut from the varsity team. Can you imagine? A truly humiliating blow. But that setback, it wasn't the end. It was actually the beginning of a huge discovery. Over the next 6 years, he went from that junior varsity reject to an ESPN academic All-American, one of the top student athletes in the entire country. So how did he do it?
In college, Clear had this realization. He knew he couldn't rely on some huge, earth-shattering comeback. His body, his confidence, it was all shattered. So his only real choice was to focus on tiny, almost unnoticeable changes, these little habits that he could build on, one day at a time. And this led him to his first massive insight, the surprising power of compounding self-improvement. See, he wasn't trying to hit a home run every single day. He was just trying to get 1% better. Now, I know that doesn't sound like much, right? But this is where the magic really happens. And what's so wild is the math behind it. If you improve by just 1% each day for a whole year, that compounding effect means you end up almost 38 times better than when you started. But look at the flip side. Getting 1% worse every day brings you almost all the way down to zero. Small habits, you see, are the compound interest of self-improvement.
Okay, but here's the catch, and this is so important. Progress isn't linear. For a long time, it can feel like absolutely nothing is happening. Clear calls this the plateau of latent potential. Think about it like an ice cube in a room that's slowly warming up from, say, 25 to 31 degrees. Nothing changes, nothing. Then, at 32 degrees, bam, it melts. That single-degree shift unlocks this massive change. The most powerful outcomes are so often delayed.
This whole idea led Clear to a really fundamental question. I mean, think about it. Every athlete in the Olympics wants to win the gold medal. Every startup wants to be wildly successful. So, if the winners and the losers have the exact same goals, what actually makes the difference? It can't be the goal itself, right?
And he realized the secret isn't the goal, it's the system you follow. A goal is the result you want. A system, that's the collection of daily habits that will actually get you there. Imagine a coach who completely ignores the goal of winning the championship and instead focuses only on what the team does in practice each day. They're still going to get results, because a good system takes care of the score. This quote just nails it. Your outcomes, whatever they are simply a lagging measure of your habits. Your net worth, that's a lagging measure of your financial habits. Your weight, a lagging measure of your eating habits. It's so simple. You get what you repeat.
And this idea is a total game changer. It means that if you're struggling to change something in your life, you are not the problem. It's not that you need more willpower. You just need a better system. And that shifts the focus from blaming yourself to actually fixing the underlying process, which is so much more productive.
So to build a better system, we first have to understand how change actually happens. And there are 3 layers to it. You've got your outcomes. That's the results. Then there's your process, your habits. But the most powerful, most lasting change, that happens at the deepest level. Your identity, what you truly believe about yourself. See, most of us start with the outcome we want. I want to lose 20 pounds. But Clear argues we should start with the person we want to become. Don't focus on running a marathon, focus on becoming a runner. The goal isn't just to read one book, it's to become a reader. True, lasting behavior change is really identity change.
So, okay, how do you change your identity? You do it with tiny wins. Every single action you take is like casting a vote for the person you want to be. When you choose to write just one page, you cast a vote for I am a writer. When you go to the gym, even for a few minutes, you cast a vote for I am an athlete. These little votes build up, and they provide the evidence that you are in fact becoming that new person.
So how do we actually build these identity-based systems? Well, it all comes down to understanding the brain's operating system. And it's a pretty simple 4-step feedback loop. First, there's a cue that triggers your brain, then a craving that gives you the motivation, then the response, which is the habit itself, and finally, a reward that satisfies the craving and tells your brain, hey, let's do that again.
This habit loop gives an incredibly practical toolkit. To build a good habit, you just engineer this loop. You make the cue obvious, make the craving attractive, make the response easy, and make the reward satisfying. And to break a bad habit, you just invert those laws. Make it invisible, unattractive, difficult, and unsatisfying. This is the core framework of the entire book, right here.
Okay, let's bring this all together. We've talked about the power of compounding, about systems over goals, and about changing our identity. But why? Why does all this really matter? What's the real ultimate goal of building better habits?
And here it is. This is the heart of it. The ultimate purpose of your habits isn't just to have more money or to lose weight or to reduce stress, though they can absolutely do all that. Fundamentally, your habits matter because they are the path through which you develop your deepest beliefs about who you are. Quite literally, you become your habits.
So, the big takeaway is this. Success isn't some finish line that you cross one day. It's a system that you live by. It's the product of all those daily atomic habits, those tiny, tiny changes that stack up over time to deliver remarkable, life-altering results. And the real question is, what tiny change will you vote for today?